Jimmy Garoppolo breaks his foot. By the end of the night, the 49ers signed Josh Johnson, who I think it's his fourth time on the 49ers. He was here with Harbaugh. He was here a couple of years ago with Kyle Shanahan. He was in New York with Robert Saleh and the Jet. He knows the system. He knows the verbiage. He was a fifth-round pick under John Gruden. Mm-hmm. Last year, he played in 2 games. One, he played with the Jets. He went 27 of 41 for 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, and a 103 rating. Then he lost, but still they put up 30 points. And then with Baltimore, he started, 28 of 40 for 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and a 98 rating. Lost, but still those are pretty good numbers. What do you think of the Niners signing Josh Johnson?
I think it's great, man. I'm actually friends with his cousin. His cousin's a basketball coach. I know him pretty well. Nice. So I've seen Josh Johnson in the building and stuff like that. But anyways, he's been a lifelong, kind of a guy that just gets, flipped around from team to team, but he's always pretty solid. I think he's a really solid backup quarterback. He has a ton of experience under a ton of different systems. Mm-hmm. Smart guy, local,
good athlete
from Oakland.
Good athlete.
I think it's great. He was one of the guys I was hoping they would have signed as a backup for Trey Lance to begin with. So I think it's good. I'm excited about having Josh Johnson as a possible option if he's needed. Yeah,
he's a really cool story. I don't know if people in Oakland know because he was a local legend. He played at Oakland Tech with Marshawn Lynch. Yeah. He's been around for a long time, and he went to the University of San Diego, and he was Jim Harbaugh's coach. Back when Harbaugh was getting started as a head coach, he was winning hella games with Josh Johnson. John Gruden noticed, took him in the 5th round, and he's never really gotten a shot to start. He's 1-8 as a starter. But last year he had some good appearances, and I think Geno Smith comes to mind. Because that's another guy who, good athlete, never, had a chance but didn't really get an extended chance and stuck with it. Clearly stuck in the league. Coaches liked him. There's a reason, and got a chance and is good. So I don't know if Josh Johnson could do that, but he kind of needs to if he has to play because, again, this is Super Bowl or bust for the 49ers. And it's not just we need a nice quarterback for the practice squad. We need a guy who could potentially win playoff games.
Yep.
And, Josh Johnson's a good story. He's 36.
Yeah.
He's never started a playoff game. So I know he's here because he knows the system. And he had a couple good appearances last year, which probably puts him ahead of most people in the world that isn't on a roster. But I don't know that this is enough.
We'll find out. But, I think with his experience at 36 years old, he's really, he's a vet. And he's never – maybe I'm wrong, but in 36 years or however long he's been in the NFL, I'm imagining like 12 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Has he ever been in a situation like this where he's had this strong of a roster, this many weapons headed into the playoffs?
No.
I don't think he has, right? So this could be really big for Josh Johnson. I don't know if he's going to end up being the guy that plays in the playoffs for the 49ers, but I think he is definitely great to have in this quarterback room considering all things.
Great backup to have, but I'm just trying to pull back, and I'm not saying anything about Purdy, that he's injury prone or this or that, but look at the Niners. They can't keep their quarterbacks healthy. They go through them. Mm-hmm. And Purdy got sacked a few times. Their offensive line isn't great. The Niners have to be prepared for Purdy to either get injured and miss time or potentially not be that great. We don't know anything about Brock Purdy. So whoever this backup is someone the Niners have to feel like, hey, well, we got to feel confident if he has to start a playoff game. Because, again, there's no one's going to say, hey, the Niners were a really good story this year, but, injuries happen. No. Best defense in the league, all these weapons. Figure it out. So, Josh Johnson, nice, but I don't know if the Niners are done or should be.
I don't think they are. I think there's some other options that are going to appear. I would be surprised. I give Josh Johnson a 20% chance of playing in the playoffs for the 49ers. If that. So, but I think he's a good option. I'm glad that the 49ers signed him. I think there's other things that might transpire that, and we'll talk about that more. But I think it's a good solid backup to have on this team.
Yeah, and if Geno Smith can pull it off, maybe Josh Johnson could too. Mm-hmm. Again, he played well last year in 2 starts. Anyone else? You say like anyone else you would think of would either be like 40 years old or hasn't played in 5 years.